Today's video is unlike any other video I've done before. It started off with basically a shopping trip to Restaurant Depot. We had to pick up some additional items that we didn't account for. This video actually ties into two other videos, and I'm gonna have at least one other video following this, possibly a fifth in the series, because it stems from us taking on, as I explained in another video, we took on basically the production for another meal plan. I go over why and all that explanation in the other video. Then I shot a video discussing the delivery vehicles and how one would go about using delivery vehicles, reasons you wouldn't want to use delivery vehicles, so forth, in another video while I'm doing a shopping trip basically for what I discussed in the first video. So now in this video, we're going through the weekend, and I'm starting off by doing another shopping trip, deciding to take you actually through Restaurant Depot, which I've mentioned in other videos, to buy the extra food and items that we needed for the additional production from the other company. Like I said, touching on those the kind of content that was explained in the other videos. So what started off as a shopping trip, bear with me guys, what started off as a shopping trip eventually evolved into an all-day quest to find ingredients all over the counties, all over 2 counties actually, and some situations that could have been prevented, some stuff that was, I don't want to say catastrophic, but some very, very challenging obstacles that the team had to endure and put up with that I think were 100% avoidable, or would have at least been able to not have been so severe and so hard to deal with, had some foresight and some planning and just some basic effort been implemented earlier on in this entire cooking process. So I cover that in more detail. Also, what happened with our chef and why we now have a new executive chef. I go over all of that and more in this video, so enjoy. I'm probably going to need a recap video after all of these. That's what I think the 5th video is going to be. Probably going to need some therapy after all of this. Honestly, I had to cut out so much that I think a debriefing would be good for you guys and for me if you guys want to have a 5th video on this. But you be the judge. Check this one out. Check out the one after it. I'll start editing that one next. But yeah, countless times throughout this weekend, I wish I was able to just live stream this and kind of give you guys an upfront seat to what I was going through, what the kitchen looked like, what production looked like, all the plating, all the organized chaos with 2 companies fitting in one space. And I unfortunately cannot live stream until I get to at least 1,000 subscribers. It's a YouTube policy. So to help me get to 1,000 faster, if you could share these videos with your friends, your family, your employees, your business partners, whoever you think would be interested in learning this, maybe some other trainers or chefs, whatever you're into, we all learn together. So knowing more people in this industry, especially if you're the one who turns them on to, a good source like me who's able to help them out, I'm sure they would be appreciative. As I've explained before, there's plenty of room for all of us, and if I can get to 1,000 faster and I can do some live stream videos, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Even for just normal production days, I can walk you through the kitchen and show what's going on without having to put it up here through editing and all that other stuff. So just a thought, if you were to share, it'd help out a lot. Get us there sooner. Of course, subscribe and hit the alerts and the link below and all that, but this one's more about just kind of documenting this craziness that we went through, and it was definitely avoidable. Enjoy.
Welcome to our channel where we go behind the scenes of our meal plan company Fit Food Fresh and other local businesses across South Florida. Make sure you hit the subscribe and alerts so you never miss a video, and hit us with any questions or suggestions.
Alright guys, we're going on another shopping trip. In the last video I posted, we were going all the way to the north end of the county, Riviera, if you're familiar with South Florida. And now we're going to be going to Broward County, which is just below us. I mentioned in the sourcing video, I mentioned a couple videos, a place called Restaurant Depot. Now, if you're in the US, I guess it's a chain, and they're in many states. If you're outside the US, they probably have something comparable to this. It's basically a supply store for restaurants
This particular chain does not do deliveries as far as I understand it. Really, it's like a Costco for the food business. Whether you're a restaurant, a caterer, a meal prep company, or even a gas station looking to buy some chips or stock a vending machine, Restaurant Depot is the place that you can go to if you have a short timeline and you have to physically go somewhere to get it. As you can tell, it's still very early in the morning on Saturday. I want to get my supplies to my guys as soon as possible, so I'm going to be there at 7 a.m. when it opens. I've got a long list and I haven't been there in a long time, so it's going to be interesting sourcing these items that I'm not even sure they have yet. The lighting so low, maybe I'll just wait until I get close to the Restaurant Depot to film a little bit more. So this is Restaurant Depot. Again, it's like Costco with the racks, and you have to constantly dodge these guys. First trick is picking out a good cart. Got to make sure the wheels aren't messed up. These things get a lot of abuse. So they've got these narrow carts that are good because when this place is crowded in the middle of the day and there's a bunch of restaurants trying to get last minute stuff and everyone's rushing, it's nice to be able to narrowly weave through the crowded aisles. But this is what you got here. Everything's in massive wholesale quantities. If you've ever wanted to get ranch by the gallon or anything by a large quantity, I think they serve, look at this, you get jerk seasoning, 5-gallon buckets, lots and lots of quantity of food. Now in a pinch, you can actually get some decent container brands here, but you will be paying retail, so as soon as you're able to buy them in bulk, have them shipped to you, you'll probably find the prices a bit cheaper. Speed, I normally like to leave my cart and just run off on random runs. They do have signs, placard up there, but it's still a mess. This is a giant refrigerator. These are refrigerators actually these are freezers in a refrigerator. And then you got the whole meat section over here. Meat and veggies. We're picking up some basil, some blueberries, trying to find some chicken sausage, and bring a jacket. They have some jackets you can borrow, but definitely don't show up in shorts and sandals. I've made that mistake before. Try getting your list typed out so you don't have to read someone else's handwriting, unless you're the one making the list. But chefs write a little bit better than doctors, and it's not always fun this early in the morning. This, by the way, is extra virgin olive oil. There's always something on your list, at least one thing that's going to be somewhere where it doesn't make sense. Like you'd think syrup would be with sauces. It's not. It's next to like peanut butter and spices. There's cases of eggs, meats, cheeses, hot dogs, which are kind of meats, but let's be honest. Seafood section. So you can already see the cards are starting to, imagine if they are normal size. Fish. And again, I'm walking around a giant refrigerator, basically. All right, just over an hour later, and I'm leaving Restaurant Depot. I am missing 4 items. As I've mentioned before, they don't have everything, so I couldn't find the cinnamon rolls that we need. I couldn't find chicken sausage. I couldn't find shredded coconut or steel-cut oats. So I'm gonna drop this load off. Fortunately, I was able to fit it all in my car, and then I'm gonna go back out probably to Costco or something and hopefully find some of the rest of the stuff. Also, make sure you have everything you need before you go. Make sure whoever's making the list is diligent about not leaving anything off, because Chef texted me that he needed a case of pineapple. I didn't learn that until I was in the line, and then literally as I was pulling out of the parking lot, I'm all loaded up, he told me he needed sweet plantains. Well, I'm just gonna have to get that in my next trip. Fun. Now, as I said, it's not always easy to find what you're looking for in there.
quite often you'll end up asking the nice young woman or gentleman at the front desk if they can help you look something up. But what I try to do is at least bang out enough of your list so you're not looking up every item with them, and hopefully you only have to bother them for the specialty items that are kind of weird. Some things don't make sense. Like there's a breakfast section, next to it is a sausage section, but then there's also different sausages that aren't in the sausage section, and you can only find them in the meat section. As I mentioned, syrup to me would go with sauces or condiments, but it's actually with peanut butter and dry spices. Like, what the hell? Also, like Costco, they don't have bags. The stuff that you're buying is way too large to fit in bags. But if you keep an eye out, a lot of times they'll do you the favor of throwing clean, empty boxes into a pile in the front. I've also mentioned in previous videos that they have a freezer in the front that's going to be filled with disposable ice packs. We actually reuse those ice packs. We just use them for our deliveries. And in that video, I also mentioned that's how we used to get some of our ice packs in the beginning of our business. Keep an eye out for that because you want to keep the food cold in transit. Right now, I've got a bunch of the food in my trunk. I threw a bunch of the packs in the boxes and over top of the produce and the meats and everything like that, just to provide a cooling element while I'm driving, create a nice little thermal pocket that keeps it nice and cool. The idea is to expose your frozen and refrigerated items, if you have them, to the ambient temperature for the shortest period of time possible. So any extra cold elements, ice packs or whatever that you're able to put on there, do it. Restaurant Depot is for businesses, so you're going to want to have your tax deferment certificate on file. You're also going to have a Restaurant Depot card. I didn't have mine. I haven't been in so long, I don't even know where my card is. So I had to go back up to the front desk, get our account number, then get back in line. Help yourself avoid that mistake by always having your stuff ready, because everyone else is a professional and they will roll their eyes at the register when you're the one without a card. All right, first delivery completed. Unfortunately, now I got to go out and get another round of stuff. One thing I want to mention is stay in shape. The food business is a very physical business. Not only is it hot and dangerous in the kitchen, but it's also heavy. Even just going out and shopping, you're buying cases of things that sometimes come in 50-pound increments. So when you're pulling them off the shelves, pulling them out of refrigerators, putting them into your trunk, pulling them off your trunk, putting them on a cart, there's a lot of potential, a lot of opportunities to really screw up your back. Now, when I was a firefighter, way back in another life, I actually gave myself a nice little periumbilical hernia, which is a hernia right above your belly button, just from lifting ladders the wrong way. I got frustrated. We were running drills. We kept on doing the same thing over and over during a practice sequence, and I just compromised my form, tore a hole in my abs. I waited a decade until I had surgery last year. Man, this really takes me back. In the beginning of Fit Food Fresh, Steven and I had to do all of the shopping, and it was, man, sucked. Doing it once on a Saturday, not bad. Doing it every Saturday, and I'm not from the food industry. Steven and I, my business partner, are not from the food industry, so I remember learning what jicama was and how to spell it, and I was just like, I was mispronouncing it, and I used to mispronounce quinoa. I don't even remember how I used to pronounce it, but I had no idea what any of this stuff is, and it's funny to see how far I've evolved and how much stuff I now am aware of, and having to go hunt this stuff down definitely makes me feel very appreciative of my team who normally takes care of all this. Now, we normally get most of our stuff delivered on trucks, but with some order complications and confusion from adding on another meal plan's production to ours, here I am. I'm on my way to Costco now. Their prices are pretty reasonable, not as good as wholesale, but quality is normally pretty high. Hopefully this is going to be my last trip. If Costco doesn't do me right, I'm going to have to probably go to Publix, which is a grocery store in the southeast
known for their amazing subs, so I might have to grab myself a sub while I'm there. And if that doesn't work, I don't know, maybe Whole Foods. You really want to avoid going to Whole Foods if you can, because the prices are outrageous. But they do have a lot of specialty stuff that is otherwise very hard to find. Stuff I'm looking for now isn't too crazy. We got some steel cut oats, shaved coconut. I didn't even know coconuts grew hair. Some sweet plantains, cinnamon rolls, and chicken sausage. Oh, sweet! Costco's not open yet because it's only 8:50. What time does Costco open? There's two blue hairs in the Rascal little easy scooters, literally parked at the front door waiting for them to open so they can speed through and get their shopping done. It's Boca, baby. In case you forgot where we are, now you know. 9:30, we've got 40 minutes. I don't know what to do because this is the better place to source stuff from, but I also don't want to waste time waiting here when I could be getting some of this stuff somewhere else. What am I gonna do? I should get breakfast. Eating would be a good idea. I guess I could go hang out with Ralph and Myrtle, see what they're up to. There's nothing close to here worth eating. Wow, there's another one going to line up. They've got 37 minutes before the doors open. What are they lining up? I mean, I guess the weather's nice, but you're standing with a cart. It's not like there's going to be a limit to how many people can get in here. Oh, there's 3 over there. Oh, here comes some more. Everyone lining up at the front entrance of Costco is an older person. Everyone's got silvery hair. Is Neil Diamond performing in this Costco today? 35 minutes till they open. There's a big sign that says Saturday, 9:30 to 7, right next to where they're standing. One lady's reading the sign now and walking back. Bravo to you. She's opted to sit down instead of stand on concrete in front of Costco. I'm sure they're all wearing orthopedic shoes, so it's probably not too bad. Half of them are sitting on Rascal scooters. That is thoughtful of Costco to have those scooters out front. There's no way they leave those scooters out all night, is there? Oh, you can see that guy in the cart trying to sneak in the exit. He's like, nope, sorry, sir. It's only 9:01. We don't open for another 29 minutes. I don't know why you guys are standing out here, but you cannot come in through the exit, sir. Please back that scooter up. Beep, 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 beep. After wasting all that time at Costco, we came to the conclusion that we actually need to buy much more stuff, and it was worth putting in an order and driving to the other end of the county, back to Riviera like I did the other day. I'm actually going to be hitting 2 different locations. There's another Restaurant Depot up there. I have to go back to Restaurant Depot because the produce we need is not available at Cheney Brothers. And then after I get the produce, which is onions and strawberries from Restaurant Depot and some cutting boards, then I have to go to Cheney, and I'm going to be picking up all sorts of stuff in addition to the steel cut oats and all the other stuff I listed before, the cinnamon rolls. There's hams and all sorts of other stuff Chef added. So fun Saturday for me. But this is the reality. If you don't get this stuff on a truck, you may be driving all over. If your menu has decent variety, you're probably going to be sourcing from a whole bunch of different places, especially when you talk about specialty items in healthy cooking or vegan cooking or any kind of special dietary cooking. There's going to be a lot of special stuff that's not going to be the easiest to find. Hell, all I'm trying to buy is 8 pounds of steel cut oats, and that's proven to be a problem. Sure, I could probably find it on the shelf at Publix or my local supermarket, but I'm going to be paying retail, which isn't ideal. It's excusable if I was just picking up a couple of items, but since it looks like I'm going to be picking up another dozen items, it's worth doing a long run. Again, I'm hoping I'm going to be able to fit it all in here because I'm driving around in a Cadillac ATS-V, which is a 4-door, but it's not a very roomy 4-door. All right, it is now 4 o'clock, and I'm headed back out for run number 5. This should have all been avoided. This is poor ordering, and I don't mean to throw anybody under the bus, but nothing has changed. These numbers should have been known. This is what happens when attention to detail is not paid, especially during ordering. Now, this is going to cost us a lot. It's costing me my entire day. Fortunately, I'm able to do this, and this isn't something that the chef has to do. Otherwise, he'd be out of the kitchen the entire day, running back and forth between 2 different counties. The added expense is also unacceptable. By the end of the day, I'm going to be purchasing over $1,000. I think I've already exceeded $1,000 of extra food, and the only thing that wasn't food was chopping boards. I bought 6 chopping boards, so I guess that's the plus, because those will be assets of the company. But everything else is just food that's going to go right out the door and should have been accounted for already, because when we buy it through one of the purveyors who delivers on a truck, not only do we not have to run around and get it, but it's also bought in a larger quantity, so we get better pricing on it. Right now, I'm just a regular guy walking in, paying retail, or at least it's Restaurant Depot, so it's kind of a wholesale retail situation, but it's still more expensive than I'd be paying, and I'm losing the time. Like I said, an entire day. I got in my car at 6:30 so I could be at Restaurant Depot right when they opened up, and I've been going almost non-stop since. I got to eat when I finally put together 3 of the tables. I ate around, I think it was 3 o'clock, my first meal, and now I'm right back out on the road. I'm not too happy with Chef. This has been quite the ordeal, and it really didn't need to be. But being honest, the resistance he had to manufacture food for another company is what made all of this more difficult than it should have been. Chef had an issue with the other meal plan company making money off of our work. He felt that it was unfair. Well, our company is still making money. As I explained in the previous video, our company is still profiting from this. We are able to compress time and sell more meals in a shorter period of time. It easily justifies the discount that we're giving him to produce these meals. They're the same meals that we're producing, it's just more of them. And his team was specifically hired to be able to accommodate this type of volume. This is poor planning. When the right amount of produce isn't at the facility, the production on it can't start. When we're running into situations middle of the day, already halfway through our cook, and we're realizing that there's something integral to moving on, like 50 pounds of onions, that's not in the building, we have to halt everything on that SKU, and it can't move forward. It can't be plated. So the plating team is supposed to be starting right now. They can start on some items, but the idea was to have the entire cooking team out by 4:30 at the latest. That's not going to happen. Now, when Chef told me he needed more stuff, and he keeps on adding to it and adding to it, I didn't bitch at him. I realized the situation is what it is. I accepted it, and I decided to move forward. We will have a discussion about this later, but right now, arguing or asking him why he didn't account for this in his order, none of that is going to get us anywhere. I need to get on the road, get the supplies, get them to him so he can finish his job and get everyone home. On Monday, after everything's said and done, we will have a discussion. We will talk about what we need to do moving forward to assure that this never happens again, because there's really no excuses. If you know your numbers on Friday, you should be able to put in a precise order on Friday. If you're not in control of your numbers yet, that means you need to review your recipes, you need to get a menu database, you need to do something to step up your game and tighten up your numbers and your knowledge, because if you don't know how much you're spending or how much you need to be purchasing, I assure you there's going to be huge gaps of inefficiencies that are going to be costing you money. This is a game of pennies. Everything counts. This is ridiculous. Fortunately, I like to stay calm, cool, and collected. Otherwise, I'd probably be screaming and cursing. And I know some people who, if tasked to do this, especially for the 5th time, they would probably be feeling that way, and I would definitely understand. 6 p.m. I wish I could say I'm going home. I am going to try to very quickly go to Publix, which is right down the street, and get back before my Uber Eats order gets there. I ordered Uber Eats. I ordered some bad stuff. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm ashamed, but I'll be honest. After running around all day for 12 hours now, I think I've burned enough calories, and so far all I've had was a tofu
bowl. This is a long day. I haven't had one of these in a while because we're normally much better. Instead, there was some chaos with the ordering. Chef rushed through some stuff in anger and frustration. I don't want to use the word sabotage, but he definitely failed to plan. But this is all ego. That's what I recognize, is it's just an ego thing. And I tried to explain to him that the benefit the company receives is worth the extra work. But poor planning creates a lot of extra work, and it makes it look like it's because of the situation, and it's not because of the situation. It's because the ordering was done wrong. If we had half the food to cook and we still did the order the wrong way, we would still be set back substantially, because there's just stuff you can't do. Right now I'm running out to get 3 gallons of milk. I've already bought a case of milk today. This was just poor planning. Back at Restaurant Depot Sunday, but I wanted to film some of this because along with food, there's also supplies, pizza, paddles, all sorts of stuff, knives, clipboards, chef coats, a lot of the materials. They've even got ovens here, equipment like that, refrigerators, all brand new stuff, chinois. So beyond just wholesale quantities, bulk quantities of food, you can also get your supplies here. Now you'll probably find better pricing at auctions, getting stuff used, but in a pinch, you know they've got it. Giant pans, this is stuff you can't get at Walmart. All right, I'm gonna end it here for this video and just tell you that Saturday ended up being a very long day. We went late into the night. I think I was here till about midnight, and then Sunday I started again bright and early. Sunday was actually much later. I did a 24-hour day on Sunday because we had to do the rest of the cooking, the plating, the packing, and the deliveries, and it ended up being a very long and arduous experience. We had 2 companies in here, 2 meal plan companies, fit in one location, doing double production and trying to orchestrate this entire mess with very little help actually from our chef. And I'll go into more detail about what was going on there, kind of behind the scenes things that you don't see in this video. And I go over that at the end of my very long Sunday and kind of tell you some very honest feelings that I had. And well, it's some nitty gritty stuff. It's actually, I'm a little reluctant to put it out. I haven't started editing yet, but I do think that it is important. It's something that I think you guys would definitely benefit from seeing. It's the ugly truth of how certain individuals may decide to perform in tough situations and the realities that you're gonna have to deal with if that happens to you, just so you can have it in your mind to prevent it. And then in a 5th video, again, I'm going to keep the next ones probably much shorter than this because I feel so bad with this long format. The next video after that, the 5th video in this little series that we've got going on here, I think I'm going to just sit in front of the camera and go over some of the other insights that I had that I'm probably going to be cutting out, leaving on the film room floor, as they say, just to save you guys some time and not have everything in. Throughout my day, I did have other ideas and opinions that I expressed that I think were good, but I cut them out for time's sake. Let me know what you think about this behind the scenes kind of stuff. There's honestly a lot of nitty gritty stuff that I'm willing to share. I'm thinking maybe we'll put it on a private platform just because it might not be great for our members and employees to be seeing this, but I definitely want to share this information and these thoughts with other meal plan owners, just so, again, for the better of your businesses, really. Just so you can learn lessons from the experience I've had to go through. But definitely let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I've got a link in every single one of my video notes that basically takes you to a Google form. Through that, I will send everybody a free copy of the order tracking system I created and the ebook, How to Start a Meal Plan Company for $500. You can also send me a question that you have and feedback. If this is something you want to see more of and we can just do some behind the scenes kind of footage and I can take you through my day and you want to see more of that kind of stuff, I can do it. If you want me to keep the videos short, sweet, to the point, I can do that as well. Just let me know and I'll do more or less of whatever you guys say. If you haven't seen the 2 videos before this that kind of discuss this whole situation, definitely start with those so you know the backstory of why we're doing production for another meal plan company. And you might see some of the indicators or trepidation earlier on in the videos that maybe I was just too oblivious to. These things contributed to the unraveling of some individuals behind the scenes here and permanent restructuring of our company. Our company is different after this. This is an event where there will be a before and an after. It is something that is going to be monumental in the history of Fit Food Fresh. So I wanted to capture as much of it as possible for you and honestly for me to look back on. Thank you guys so much for watching and enduring this very long video. If you're watching this, my heart goes out to you, but I hope it was something that you're able to draw some ideas, inspiration, and lessons from.